We invite all listeners to tune in every Thursday at approximately 7:25 a.m. for TTUTA Speaks, a program which deals with all issues affecting teachers, schools, and the education sector in general. So join us right here on I-95.5 every Thursday morning at 7:25. A blessed good morning to all I-95.5 listeners. This is the segment TTUTA Speaks, and I am your presenter, Patricia Eversley. This morning, I welcome to the program the President of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, Mr. Lindsley A. Dudai. Good morning, Mr. Dudai, and welcome.
Good morning, Patricia, and good morning to all I-95.5 listeners.
Last week, the program focused on the association's concerns with the Ministry of Education's recent approaches in treating with the issues of school meals and school transport. The program ended with the revelation that the Ministry of Education had publicly criticized the association for its position on these two issues, and a promise was made to treat with these criticisms in today's program. What criticisms were leveled at the association by the Ministry of Education?
From media reports that came to the association's attention, the Ministry of Education would have described our claims that school officials are now being asked to virtually carry out a means test to determine the suitability of students to receive school meals and school transport as ridiculous. The Ministry of Education also described as ridiculous the association's concern over teachers now being required to stand at the school gate and ensure that certain students are transported by specific maxi taxis on mornings and evenings. The Ministry of Education went on to say that this is a total fabrication and is furthest from the truth. In its release, the Ministry also indicated that it is willing to work with TTUTA towards the enhancement of the education system, but said in recent times TTUTA seems to be unwilling to commit to the professional standards upon which it is built, but instead travels on a path of confrontation.
What is the association's response to these criticisms?
The association's concerns would have been based on feedback that was received from our members, who include school supervisors, principals, and teachers. The association stands by its stated position on these two issues. The Ministry of Education would have indicated in its release that there is no means testing for school meals. In our program last week, it was pointed out that the Ministry of Education had introduced an application form for school meals which required parents who wanted school meals for their children to complete. The application form required parents to describe their occupation, whether it is permanent, temporary, casual, daily paid, or self-employed, and for them to state if they receive pension, social welfare assistance, or disability grant. Based on a completed form, principals were asked to recommend students for school meals. Principals' recommendations are then to be scrutinized and assessed by school supervisors. TTUTA therefore asks, who then is being ridiculous on the issue of a means test for school meals? Certainly not TTUTA. Our principals and teachers have been issued instructions from school supervisors who presumably would have gotten these instructions from more senior officials of the Ministry of Education that they are to monitor maxi taxis contracted by the Ministry of Education through PTSC to ensure that they transport designated students to and from schools. How else are they to do this but to stand at the school gate to ensure that certain students are transported by specific maxi taxis on mornings and evenings consistent with a list that was supplied to the authorities in advance? The association reiterates that it is willing to work with the Ministry of Education to promote the cause of education, which is one of the aims and objectives of TTUTA's constitution. However, TTUTA will not allow itself to be used by the Minister of Education and the Ministry of Education as a rubber stamp for their policies or as window dressing.
What are the association's concerns with the modus operandi of the Ministry of Education at this time?
The association holds the Minister of Education and the ministry leads to a higher standard than any other Minister of Education in the recent past, simply because he has come from the bowels of the education system, including 13 years as president of TTUTA. The association is disappointed in the performance of the Minister of Education in the almost 3 years that he has held this portfolio. The Minister seems reluctant to engage the association on issues affecting our education system. He has held more meetings with other stakeholders than he has held with TTUTA, which is a recognized majority union. The association continues to have grave difficulties to have our statutory monthly meetings with the Ministry of Education. When these meetings are in fact held, the importance of these meetings are trivialized more often than not by the non-attendance of the ministry's two permanent secretaries.
What are your closing comments?
While TTUTA is willing to work collaboratively with the Ministry of Education, it will not shirk its responsibility to continue to act as a watchdog to ensure that whatever is done in our education system is beneficial to all stakeholders.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dudai, for joining me this morning. This has been TTUTA Speaks. You can contact us at gensec.ttuta@gmail.com or telephone us at 645-2134 or contact TTUTA's president, Mr. Lindsley Dudai, at 681-8057. Once again, contact us at gensec.tuta@gmail.com. Phone us at 645-2134 or phone Mr. Dudai at 681-8057.